Everybody's picking them. Everybody's picking them. This group writes the story. This group writes the story.
What's up, everyone? And yeah, I'm in a desert. These are Joshua trees behind me. Figured I'd mix up the backdrop of the set this week. We are officially less than 2 months away from the championship series. Coaches have been making trades. Players have been pushing themselves, holding weekly team meetings, all leading up to the championship series going down July 25th.
We figured now would be the best time to take you guys behind the curtain of all 7 teams who are preparing to play on a national stage. So this week, we are starting with Chaos and their head coach, Coach of the Year, Andy Towers.
But before we bring Andy on to answer your fan questions at home, we're going to use this week's opening face-off to give you all a little explainer, a little refresher on the confines that the coaches are working with in regards to whittling down their rosters for July 25th.
Each of the 7 PLL teams must submit their completed roster by June 30th. That is just 33 days from now. So in 33 days, we're going to know exactly who will be playing in the championship series.
Should a club want to make any roster adjustments, they have a waiver period between June 15th and 16th. And any player picked up during the waiver period must make the 22-man travel roster.
And lastly, should a team want to make a trade, they have until June 12th to do so. So a lot of important dates coming up. June 12th, trade deadline. June 15th to 16th, the waiver period where teams can make any last-minute adjustments. And finally, the most important date of all, June 30th, when the 22-man rosters will be locked in and we will know who will be playing in the PLL Championship Series.
All right, it's time to bring on Coach Towers. It was around this time last year that we were down at training camp with Andy. He was breaking down one of the first Chaos huddles, getting to know his players. It was a really special time, man. And Andy also busted out some dance moves during training camp as well.
Yo, Andy, do you have any dance moves? Ooh.
So we asked Chaos fans to bring any and all questions they have for Andy Towers, and he's going to answer them right now. Honestly, just the thought of Andy Towers talking gets me excited. So here is Andy.
I love your smile. Just want to let you know I love your smile. Keep pulling it. Keep pulling it.
Thanks, Lisa and RJ. Andy Towers here from the Chaos Lacrosse Club to answer your Twitter questions. So let's get right into it. First one up, at Dees Jarrett asks, how are you going to make sure that the midfield is up to par with offensive production, given that we lost a huge part of our midfield attack? Really, it's how the teams decide to play the situation that dictates who gets the opportunities for us. We're less concerned about who's scoring the goals and more concerned with making the high percentage play based on what the situation is.
Right? The spacing, everything is great. You make a quick move, a quick pass, an aggressive ball cut, and we end up with layups.
Question number 2, at Corey Leanders asks, what was the reason for trading Matt Gaudette? This was a tricky situation for us. We drafted Matt Gaudette, number 5 in the first round, because he's an outstanding player, outstanding teammate. We were tasked with putting together our top 22 players to bring down to the championship series this summer. And that roster was secured before the college draft. With all 22 guys committed to playing, we simply didn't have a spot for Matt this summer, which meant that he wasn't going to be able to play professional lacrosse. We reached out to a couple of other teams in the league, gauged their interest, and we were able to come to what we think is a fair trade with Chrome Lacrosse Club. Coach Sudan and I discussed trading Matt for the 17th pick in next year's draft. Now, you can look at that situation and say, why would you trade a first round draft pick, number 5, for the 3rd pick in the 3rd round, number 17? And the easy answer to that is that next year's draft is going to be way deeper than this past summer's draft was, seeing that many of the best PLL-ready top seniors from this past spring decided to go back to college and repeat their senior year. So those guys are all going to be in next year's draft, along with those in the class of 2021 that are coming out next year as well. And Coach Sudan and I both felt that that was a good trade. So I feel good about it. Question number 3, what's the challenge of keeping guys fresh with little turnaround for each game? The challenge is obviously making sure, number 1, that these guys are not getting injured. That's the number 1 concern. But clearly they're going to have to get themselves physically prepared for the intensity of the round robin play and the playoffs that follow. These guys are professional athletes, they're professional lacrosse players. They live a lifestyle that embraces the importance of consistent strength and conditioning. And quite frankly, I'm very, very confident that these guys are going to be arriving to training camp in the best physical condition of their lives. So, I think that's the greatest challenge is making sure that we monitor the amount of intense drills and play during the training camp piece of our 3-week window, and are mindful of that throughout the games and obviously throughout the playoffs.
Here we go, Chaos, let's go!
Question number 4, will you be rotating goalies given that you have 2 phenomenal ones? And if so, will Blaze get some work in at attack? The plan is not to rotate goalies. The plan is to play the guys that give us the best opportunity to win. At this point, based on the way that Blaze Reardon played last summer.
Stolen away by Drenner as he got aggressive, and Reardon diving back to keep it out.
Winning PLL Goalie of the Year and earning it, frankly, and should have been in the conversation for the league's Player of the Year, in my opinion, as well. We feel like we have the best goalie on the planet in Blaze. He's our starter. He's going to be the guy that we go with. That's not to say that we don't feel equally as confident in the job that Dylan Ward could do. I wouldn't have picked him up if I didn't feel that he could step in and help us win games as well. And the second part is, will Blaze get some work at attack?
Nice dish in tight, and Sankey turned away by Reardon. Here he goes.
To be honest with you, with Connor Fields and Josh Byrne and Austin Stats and Curtis Dixon and Miles Thompson, as great as Blaze's hands are, I just don't see us fitting him in at attack unless an injury situation occurs and he's needed, because we know if he's needed, he can step in, and he can certainly do that, as he proved last year in the All-Star game by scoring 2 goals in that game.
What we get to see as he scores.
Yes! He doesn't have the goalie stick, but it's a goalie goal for Blaze Reardon.
Question number 5, why are you always yelling? Wow. I just want to make sure people can hear me.
Stay aggressive, here we go! Awesome, 3, 1, 2, 3, up!
So that's why I'm always yelling. But I like the question.
1-2 on the CMO, you guys got it! Off the ground, 2-possession game! Here we go, awesome, 3, 1, 2, 3, up!
Last one. What is the number 1 goal for this team in 2020, and how will you motivate the team to fulfill it? Well, clearly, the only goal is for us to win the PLL Championship Series this summer. Our goal was to win the PLL Championship last summer.
Not stepping outside of your job! We owe it to each other! It's been too long! Everybody's picking them! This group writes the story!
And we fell short. I felt like we peaked a little bit too early last summer.
And Redwoods will play for the PLL crown as they advance to the championship game.
And weren't playing our best in the playoffs. We did have a few injuries to some really key players that affected us in our ability to play our best down the stretch last summer, but I also could have done a better job of making sure that we were schematically our best.
Manage the frustration and take the challenge of staying together. You guys got it? Bring it in here tight.
In fact, I couldn't be more excited to get our guys together and attack this opportunity. And I know the guys feel the same way. So I hope this helps. Thanks for having me on. And let's go Chaos.
All right, so Andy Towers and Chaos are in full force getting ready for the championship series. And I think they're going to be a very different looking team in 2020 with Miles Jones and Kyle McClancy gone at midfield and Sergio Salcido there to replace. It's going to be interesting to see how quickly they all can mesh with Connor Fields, Josh Byrne, and the star-studded attack line that Chaos has. I think if they can figure it out and figure it out quick, this is a team that's going to make yet another playoff run. You notice whenever RJ does these, he twirls down the streets. So should I also twirl down the street? I'm waiting for these neighbors to come out and be like, are you okay?
All right, we're in the desert, and it's hot. That was actually my question about why Andy yells so much. I just want to know. I'm curious, but I love the energy that man brings to the huddle every single time. And someone else that has some incredible energy is someone I've had the chance to meet before. This is Jose Rauda. He's a 2021 attackman who also plays for Harlem Lacrosse. And he proves right here in his highlight tape, man, that he can take a lick and keep going. Also, Fake's high finishes low down here. Jose's got a number of pretty impressive plays in his highlight reel. Jose, this week's shout out goes to you. Good luck at the next level, my man.
Okay, so for TikTok this week, instead of me challenging one of our pros to a TikTok, I'm gonna showcase all of the awesome TikToks you guys have been making at home. So let's start with @JackSullivan1411, who channeled his inner Ryder Garnsey with this mic'd up clip.
On the run, Garnsey cut and scores!
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
And finally, @ThatLax guy who got bit by the Redwoods bug and spent a little too much money on merch in the PLL shop, which it happens to the best of us. Again, we want to see all the PLL TikToks you guys are making, so make sure you tag us @PLL on TikTok.
Yes, that is the final whistle. You heard from Andy Towers. We want to know from you all. Do you think he's going to take the Chaos Lacrosse Club to win the championship series this year? Comment down below why you think Chaos will be the 2020 PLL Season 2 champs. And we're going to choose someone randomly to win this Chaos tee. Also, I'm not ending this episode until I show you a Joshua tree up close if you've never seen one. Here she is. In all her glory.
All right, that's it for us today. You've heard from Andy Towers, you've heard from us, but now we want to hear from you. What is your prediction for Chaos in the championship series? Comment it down below. And guys, we're like, divide by 3, carry the 2, add the 1. We're like 50 some days away from the championship series. The best lacrosse players in the world on a national stage for 2 weeks straight. We are so fired up about it, and we hope you guys are as well. I know with Memorial Day weekend this past weekend, we missed lacrosse a ton, but don't worry because lacrosse is on its way back. We'll see you guys next week.